Is it right? Different?
Yeah,
In
different.
expressing differs in expressing their emotions. I think Brazilians are more warm people. I would say Americans are more cold. They feel like that. They don't really express their emotions. Um, yeah, I think that's it. It might be a stereotype I have, but yeah, I feel like that. I don't know many Americans, but only like famous people. But yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah. Well, certainly there are some Americans is more, uh, I don't know, sympathetic or transmit
Yeah,
more their feelings, but I believe that
definitely.
essentially is common, particularly in some countries, in some cities. The people used to say about New York City, that's, for example, if you start a conversation, if the attendant the on the supermarket, I don't know,
Hmm.
cause a lot of problems because the people on the line starts complaining a lot. And well, I was watching a videos a couple of days ago, and the people, the opposite, the American that uh, he is he was living on Brazil, and he noticed the difference, the big difference for this guy because he's American, and the wow, what happened? Why these people is talking with the attendants and they cause a delay in my life? I lost 2 minutes for my life, so it's a great waste of the time. And so, and after some while, he notes, well, let me think about it, but 2 minutes is not so relevant in my life. So, and they change a little about the this attitude. And well, sometimes of course the same. Well, I'm a Brazilian, but sometimes it's not so cool when people take more time than uh, you should. And well, particularly in the traffic jam or traffic crash or another situation. No, the people was, for example, cross the red sign, and well, sometimes I think, well, this guy cross all the lights, the red lights, and I don't know, I arrive at home 1 or 2 minutes earlier. So
Early, yeah.
it's well, I committed some mistakes too, but
Everyone does.
when you stop a while and think about it, it's not so good and
Yeah,
not relevant. Yeah,
I
certainly.
agree. I agree.
Well, let's skip it for the next question, number two. What are the
Okay.
difference in terms of the hierarchy or formality between Brazilian and American cultures? I believe that nowadays, well, I choose United States. I would like to choose another country when I think about this immersion,
Hmm.
but I think that sometimes a person, for example, if you choose French or Italy, I
Hmm.
don't know, maybe uh, a, a particular person in the immersion don't really know the difference. Right? So in this case, I think, wow, maybe this person will want anything about it. So in this case, I choose United States because, well, uh, every day the people watch the movies, TV shows, and
Yeah.
receive a lot of information about this country. And the people used to say that the Brazil American is when have appointments, they arrived precisely on the time.
What's the
sharply. Yeah,
thing?
and normally I was watching an interview too, and the uh, a particular person receive well, the Americans receive information about the Brazilians, and it's not possible for this. That's the information. It's not possible for Brazilians to start a meeting and they don't talk about
The
all
weather,
themselves, about the family or other things. And the American show the cell phone in the a picture where the this girl was beside I I don't know, children or people, and the Brazilian told her, I have secure, I have really sure that this American should receive information about the transactions and about the meetings about the Brazilians commercial and the lifestyle from Brazilians. And so in this case, for example, a friend of mine arrived 2 minutes after
the time.
the time of the appointment, and then the boss don't allow this guy got in the meeting. So it's really, really strange for us Brazilians.
Wow.
The thing occurs a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. And
I
about you,
would
Malu?
I wouldn't say it's a formality, but I see a lot of people talking about the difference as Brazilian showers a lot more than Americans. Like
Yeah,
Americans be like, "What? You shower 2 to 3 times a day? I do it once, or I don't even shower every day." This is
yeah,
something I see a lot. I don't know, but it's not a formality or hierarchy. How
yeah.
I would say,
About for example, the treatment between boss and the
yeah,
employees. So in
they're
this
more
case,
formal.
yeah, exactly. When you are a boss in United States, I'm not. Ha- Yeah, certainly there are exceptions, but
Yeah.
normally the most part of the time, a boss and an employee don't have friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Is the relationship is more formal and the directed straight to the point. I don't have well. Sometimes I watch videos and if movies about it. It's not really occurs all the time, but I
Yeah.
believe it sounded like common in United States.
Yeah. I feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And there is a TV show and I forgot the name of is I don't know. The guys create a microchip and they put
Mm-hmm.
on the head the people, and when the guy got in the company, mm, is sound like two souls, né? A professional soul and a professional life and the regular
Personal.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for example, there are two people, a man and a woman, and the woman is a boss, and this guy hates another person in the job. But when it got out of the company, the ship make this guy forgot all the memories about the job. It's another life, another life, and the two uh, the, the women and the men are neighbors, and he
Really?
have a great relationship. I remember is a in Portuguese is a ruptura.
Oh yeah,
On Apple
I've
TV.
heard of it,
That's
but I
that's
never watched it. But
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard of it. Yeah.
It's a little boring actually, but the perspective, the idea is nice, assim, for me. So in this case, I became interested about it and I watched it. Yeah.
Is it a movie or a
No,
TV show like
it's a
series?
TV show, a series. Yeah.
Mm.
I have
On
a problem.
Netflix, Amazon,
Apple
where?
TV,
Oh,
Apple
nice.
TV. But I believe it's
I'll
possible
look
to
for it.
find in another platforms and search name.
Yeah, yeah, possibly. Nice. I think this third question is something that we just talked about, how attitudes towards punctuality vary. Vary, is this pronunciation right? Vary
Yeah,
between
yeah.
Brazil and United States. Yeah, I think that's what we just talked about. We're not very punctual people.
You fresh new on the platform that I
Yeah.
you told. So in this case, the question is just a guide. Sometimes there is a
Hmm.
blank. So in this case, you could talk for everything, but normally we choose a topic and put the questions. But if you wanted to choose the other question, doesn't matter. You feel free about it. Don't worry.
Okay, so I like it. Thanks.
Yeah,
Let me see
go
the
ahead.
other question so I can see a different topic. Oh, this one is interesting. I've seen it on TikTok, I guess. I don't
Hmm.
know. The 60th question: how does
Okay.
alcohol consumption differ in social settings
Yeah.
between Brazil and the United States? I saw a person, she was doing a exchange program. It's a Brazilian girl, I
Uh-huh.
guess, doing an exchange program in the United States. So
Mm.
she was saying that people in the US they can drink alcohol on the streets, like
Uh-huh. Exact.
we do it every time, like on the beach, at a bar, like on the street, not inside of it. We do it every
Uh-huh.
time here. There, you can do this. Like you get how do I say multa?
I forgot.
Tax? No, it's not a tax.
Text. Could it be not exactly text,
Eh,
but I
something like
forgot.
that.
Maybe I remember. Punishment could be, but not exactly.
Something like that. So I saw that, and I also saw that young people consume a lot more alcohol than in
Hmm.
Brazil. And like I already think people here consume a lot of alcohol. I personally really like beer. So I saw
I
this girl
should.
saying
I found penalty. I found penalty. Could it be?
penalty
Yeah. Because, for example, I found traffic ticket, but it's specific from
from the
the
track.
traffic, you know. So in
Yeah.
this case, a penalty I could be general word for describe
Hmm.
something.
Yeah. So I saw this, and I think this is a difference between Brazil
Yeah,
and the US towards
yeah,
alcohol consumption.
it's not possible to show the bottle on the streets, on
Yeah.
the. So in this case, I a friend of mine is the same guy was drinking and they passed a little and they became drunk and this guy made pee on the street and the policeman uh, got this guy and they have to take 1 or 2 days on the jail and they after I don't know uh 1 month he had to go to the court and they have to pay a quantity of money but he he's a lucky guy because he could it, they commit two uh, crimes. Né? One of
Yeah.
them is the bottle. The guy don't put the bottle on the bag, and the another is about the P. And the guy, my friend, told that he was very close of the wall, but it's a very problem, a
Yeah.
big problem about the Americans because it's another kind of crime. So,
Yeah.
and Brazil is
Not
probably the
really.
the, the policy man
Uh-huh.
hit a punch, or and this guy maybe could take this guy from the police station, but it's not exactly a real problem
Uh-huh.
for us. It's wrong sometimes, because maybe a little girl or a boy who are walking on the streets, and a guy uh, made something like that. Now, that's weird for us, but certainly it's not exactly a crime for us Brazilians. So
Yeah.
that's it. Well, let me let me choose another question, number 7.
Okay. Just a minute.
Uh,
I'll
up,
open the door. My
up,
dog really wants to get in the room here.
go ahead, don't worry.
He was like scratching the door. So
Yeah, no
he's
problem. Don't worry. What's the name of your dog?
Edge.
Fred. That's nice.
He's a 9-year-old poodle.
Oh, 9. That's nice. That's old.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, well, what role does religion play in the cultures of Brazil and the United States, and how do they differ? Well, I'm not sure. I believe that, for example, cities like New York or metropolis, I wonder that there are a lot of ways to different religions. I believe that all of them
Yeah.
probably, but the information that I catch in movies and other things, I just uh, I just receive information about Catholics and
Mm-hmm.
churches, and the normally I'm not sure is how do you say evangelicals? I forgot.
Yeah. I think it's. Let me
Yeah,
search. I also don't know.
Protestants, né? Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
was gonna say that.
yeah. So and the Jewish, Judeus, né? And the
Jewish.
I just yeah, I believe that I Brazil is don't have so much people praying or participate, enjoy the this religion. uh,
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that on United States is common. The people
Yeah.
tell about it in the movies. In Brazil, not so much. Brazil is more Catholic and the Protestant. I don't know the name of
I think
the religion.
one would put on Google Translator, they
Uh-huh.
say evangelical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's sound like different from Brazil. I believe
Hmm. Yeah,
because
me
it
too.
sound like more similar to Protestantes than
Yeah.
evangelical,
Hmm.
because it's a little more relaxed, maybe.
Yeah.
I believe that's well. I'm not sure. Certainly, I'm not an expert, but I believe that the Protestants, uh, the the people are more. I don't know. Maybe you could use a jeans, a pant, or maybe have a tattoo. And
Hmm.
the Protestants sound like more strict, I believe,
Yeah.
for example. But
Yeah.
is and he normally I watch or listen to a lot of jokes about the Judeus, and the because I believe this particularly not New York. This guy made part of the culture, I believe, because it's very common. That's it. And you, Malu, you could talk something about.
I have this impression that in the US,
Yeah.
in big cities, like you said, like New York, LA, they're not very religious people, more on the countryside. I think
Uh-huh.
they're more, how would say, conservative people on the countryside. And in Brazil,
Exactly.
I feel like religion is really present here everywhere, and a lot of different religions also. Yeah, so I think that's it. I feel like in the US, it's more on the countryside, not on big cities.
Yeah.
And Brazil, I think it's everywhere. Almost everyone has a religion. Like
Exactly.
this is a really common subject on a daily basis for Brazilian people.
Yeah. It sounded like beside for me it sounded like on Brazil every corner you could find a bar and a church. And
And a
yeah.
church,
Yeah. Oh,
100% sure of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, could you choose another question, please, Malu?
Yes. Let me see. How do education systems in Brazil and the US differ in their approaches?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things like this on TikTok too. In the US, I saw a lot of people, like a lot of people, saying that the high school, middle school is really
Uh-huh.
easy. Like in Brazil, they are it's more hard. But
Ah,
in
yeah.
the US, yeah,
Sound
I've seen a
difference for
lot of
me.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's weird.
not the bachelor degree or something like that. The universities, they're really hard. But like high school, middle school, they're not that hard. But they count on things that in Brazil they don't. Like they really incentivize, I don't know what the right word would be. Encourage. They encourage
Yeah.
the students to do more extra activities like
Yeah.
sports, arts,
Yeah.
music, something like that. In Brazil, we don't see that. It's just
Yeah.
the subjects, like that's it. You do your tests, your activities, but they don't encourage the students to do extra things, like get involved in sports, get involved in art activities, something like that. And I think it should have here because not everyone has the talent to study math or Portuguese or whatever. Sometimes the person has abilities to paint, to sing, to act, and we don't have things here to encourage
Yeah.
people to do that unless they do it outside school, like they pay for something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have this view, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
No, in the particular, I noticed the difference. One of the main difference is uh, sounded like it's more common in United States full-time
Mm-hmm.
schools on
Yeah.
full-time, and you
Yeah.
arrive early morning and go go back for your house and at the end of the afternoon.
Yeah.
So in the it's very very common. I'm not sure, but according to the moves and the others information, is the people. It's common the people uh, work with arts, and there are plays, there are, for example, about sports. That's really nice because it's possible to keep in touch with different kinds of sports. So for example, I watch a movie a long time ago, uh, uh, 10 Things That I Hate on You. It's a
Mhm.
famous movie. And I observe, notice a guy using bow and arrow. That's, I believe,
Not really common.
I can't imagine in Brazil uh, thing like that.
Yeah, me
On
too.
Brazil, it's just soccer,
Yeah.
uh, maybe basketball, volleyball, and I don't know, maybe uh, a different school far away from us, maybe another sport not so common,
Yeah.
but it's sad for me. It's sad because
Mm-hmm.
it's a very, very important. The sports uh, cause a lot of good influence in our lives, about health, about our behavior, maybe,
Yeah.
and
A
the
lot. Mental
normally
health
the
too.
sure, sure, certainly, certainly, and the is sometimes I feel that the difference, but that's weird for me when you talk about it's not so hard to study in United States, no? Because sound like different. And I could mention another main difference, uh, because in college, in the university, the people just have to choose the the discipline when they arrive at the end of the university. So I
Mhm.
believe that's the
Yeah.
first 3 years
Mm-hmm.
you just should study about regular
Something more general.
subjects. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end, I believe that's the fourth grade, or another. At the end is you have to choose because it's so hard, for a kid or a teenager or just an adult. I don't know. Sometimes not, but you have to got in the university when you have when you are 17 years old. So in this case, it's almost impossible. No? It's just one or two kids. When I was a child, you think, oh, when I grow up, I became, I don't know, a dentist, a doctor. It's
Uh-huh.
the more common things is I'm not sure about. And for example, I'm an adult and I have some doubts,
Yeah,
about my
me too.
career. So
Definitely.
it's not fair, in my opinion.
To
You,
choose something so
yeah, yeah,
important,
exactly.
right?
But maybe on Brazil is the people, uh, not not the last years, but lately it is changed a lot. But when I was a teenager, the people have to choice, and it's not common the people change the career when they became
Yeah.
older. So it's, oh, you choose a subject and you have to work with this thing until end of your life. So that's a little weird, but
I see that with like my mom, my dad, they got a job and went there for the rest of their lives. And this
yeah,
is really different for my generation.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
I
we
believe
change
that's the
jobs really, really, really fast
uh,
in a short time.
I really appreciate this kind of introduction that the young people bring for us, because, well, for example, my grandfather, uh, when when he was 80 years old, uh, he became sick, and he had to stop to working, and he died. So in this case, he just think about a job, about work during all life. That's sound weird for me. But when he was younger, is not so different, man. For example, nowadays it's common that young people, go to another country sometimes just for fun, travel to the Europe in United States, for example. And when he was young, it's not. it's not common. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's different. So and the people pay much more attention in because I used to say our real lives are in our personal life, not in the professional side. Uh, Certainly is important. Money and the things is really really important,
Yeah.
but certainly the most important thing is our about us, about the personal life, because maybe you retire when you reach around 60 years old. And nowadays, the people became younger and they live until 80 years, maybe more. And well, if you think about the difference in 60 and the 80 years, there are 20 years. So in this case, you have to have a life after your job. So and sometimes I observe some people have money and they can't stop working because it's a kind of addiction in our life. So I believe that I have to I have to work because I'm not rich, but when I reach some quantity of money or when I have to retire, for me it's very nice. I
Yeah.
don't have problems of I have to do nothing. Doesn't matter for me. I could
Yeah, me too.
do anything and don't have problems. I don't feel I don't know sadness or something like that. For me, it's very very cool. Uh,
It's good because like I imagine when you retire, your kids will be older, so they will be responsible for themselves. Like you and your
yeah,
wife, you can travel a lot. You can do whatever you want. No
yeah,
worries,
yeah,
no
exactly,
job,
exactly.
just
Yeah.
traveling, enjoying life.
The last Saturday, I I went out with friends and one
Uh-huh.
of them he talked about I can't resist anymore. I have to quit my job and things like
Hmm.
that. And okay, that's boring sometimes, about jobs and other things. And after a while, someone introduced another topic, and how I think about my when I became retired, I I have to choose another kind of profession because I needed to work or something like that. So, okay, my
What?
friend, you talk about it that you can't resist anymore and you choose another profession. Well, if you have to because the money, that's okay. Unfortunately, it's common.
Yeah.
But I have to choose because I don't could think about anything to that I wanted to do. That's really, really weird for me. But
Yeah, for me
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I wouldn't do that, definitely. I just
yeah,
wanna rest when I retire and travel a
certainly,
lot.
certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, you could choose a number 10. Could you
Yeah,
read your answer, please?
I was thinking about this one in terms of leisure and socialization. What are some activities that are more common in Brazil compared to the US? I think parties are really common between these two. We have a lot of parties in Brazil and the US. Um, but I think in terms of music, it's really different. The music that
Sure.
plays on these parties, um, and how they are too. Usually, parties in the US, you have like food, and each person takes your drinks, something like that. In Brazil, it's not really like that. At least in the parties I go to. So you
Yeah,
pay your entry and you have like open bar or something like that. In the
yeah.
US, I don't see that a lot. Um, what else? Let me think.
About the uh, when the people talk about leisure, you there are some difference. Could you tell me about it, the United States and the Brazil?
I would say something like when you go to the beach in Brazil, we have a lot of ambulance. I don't know how to say that in
Yeah,
English. People selling every kind of thing.
exactly.
In the US, there's no such thing. I see a lot of Brazilians that go to beaches in the US and Europe too, and they like, oh, I'm missing someone selling a cheese or a beer. It's not
Yeah,
really common. I think they
yeah,
they take their food like in a little box or something like that. It's really different from Brazil.
yeah. I'm not sure if you this thing happen in all the country, but on United States, for example, Miami, I watch a video about Miami Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not don't have people selling things on the beach, but it's not possible. It's not allowed to eat or drink things on the beach. It's
Uh-huh.
necessary to go out and
I
reach
didn't know that.
some store. Yeah, that's weird for us. Brazil is
Really.
it's not so all of things, but maybe queijo coalho,
Mm-hmm.
soda,
Yeah.
peanuts, and the other stuffs.
Camarão, what's the word?
Shrimp.
Shrimp. Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
that's common too. But I was watching a guy that's he work selling houses. I'm not sure how the name, but it's common is possible to
Mhm.
reach on the YouTube. And he told about the because sound for us or just
Mm-hmm.
for me
Uh-huh.
because the Americans just think in jobs and work and some things, but
Yeah.
he told about the different because he told that is very common. Americans reserve a little portion of your routine for leisure, and
Mm-hmm.
he travel a lot for another cities,
Yeah.
states, in the different countries too. Is very common. They using this vehicle motorhome in
Mm-hmm.
the past 2 or 3 weeks driving for different highways and they know different cities and the people is very common about yeah that's weird. Yeah, there are, I think, I sometimes I watch in videos and think, but for me is different because I feel the opposite. And he told about the guys save money
Mm-hmm.
for retire as earlier as possible. Uh, that's sounds different for me too because I think the opposite. I think that's it's hard. In my I wonder that is for Americans is hard to stop working and
Yeah.
just have fun. So
I
that's
think
weird.
it even takes us to this eighth question, like what are the contrasting attitudes towards work between Brazilians and Americans? So I have this perception too that Americans are addicted to work. They never
Yeah.
stop, like never stop.
For example,
And
lunch. That's weird.
yeah,
Don't have this break this while. The guys just eats a sandwich in front of the computer and they continue
yeah,
working. That's don't brush
that's
the teeth and they just that's
mm-hmm.
weird.
I see that too. Like I work remotely, so one thing I love to do is like I have lunch and then I take a nap
Yeah, great.
before coming back to work. So I love this. Like 30 minutes nap, it's enough for
Yeah,
me. And
Yeah,
I
that's
don't see
wonderful.
that people doing that in the US, even if they work remotely too, you
Yeah,
know. I see
I was
this different.
I was talking with a guy, and the it's not common in United States, for example. How do you say in English? Well, I just talk in Português. Fala licença maternidade para
Mm-hmm.
homens, né? And there is a company that's wonderful thing about it, because even in Brazil it's not common.
Mm-hmm.
The licença maternidade is the same time for the woman and the man. So in this case, this guy received 4 months, and
In the
the
US.
yes, but it's just a specific company. It's called
Oh,
Cisco. Uh,
mm-hmm. I know.
Yes, yeah, Cisco is a great big company and one of the bigger of the world. And the well, that's wonderful. And
Yeah.
even in the States, well, I when my was when I my child was born, I I had just 5 days, and the well,
Wow.
for example, on the Sunday, my baby was born on a Sunday at Sunday, and the that's is when my uh, wife have to go to the hospital went to the hospital is around 4 p.m. o'clock. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasted this day, né? Because the license starts at Sunday, and my wife have problems,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately I have to come back to
To work.
the work, and I can't I couldn't help my wife during this important time. That's well. Let
This
me
is too, you know.
yeah. Let me just. I have to break the transmission for YouTube.
Okay.
Well, have a wonderful weekend for YouTubers. Bye bye.